Visions from a Rose. It's an introduction to me, J Rose. My name is Alex Jonathan Hurtado. I got the J from Jonathan, which my family calls me. It's just a nickname. The Rose part is my spiritual beliefs and comes from one of my favorite poems, A Rose That Grew From Concrete by Tupac. And I decided to mix those two together. And I remember having that poem for about 3 years just sitting there. And I finally decided to write about it and just where I am in life right now, how I grew up, and the things that I've seen growing up. I came up with Visions from a Rose. A seed was planted, buried in soil, surrounded by turmoil, violent tones, and rapid heartbeats. There's a certain vibe in the streets. Sleepless nights contemplate moves to make ends meet. In a society where warm-blooded friends tend to give me the cold shoulder, cups overflow with Hennessy, friends turn foes, now I'm breaking bread and taking shots with my enemies. I start Visions from a Rose off saying, a seed was planted, buried in soil, surrounded by turmoil, violent tones, and rapid heartbeats. There's a certain vibe in the streets. Sleepless nights contemplating moves to make ends meet. That was just me explaining, hey, this is where I was born. I was surrounded by, seeing drug addicts walk up and down the street, or watching my mom, work overtime or struggle to make ends meet. And just giving you that scenery and bring you into my world. And I followed it by saying, in a society where warm-blooded friends tend to give me the cold shoulder, cups overflow with Hennessy, friends turn foes, now I'm breaking bread and taking shots with my enemies. I remember watching Passion of the Christ for like 6 or 7 times. And I watched when they were sitting at the table and they passed the cup and they broke bread. You know how nowadays I had to relate it to the modern day, how we say, hey, break bread, if you want some chips or something like that. And just drinking Hennessy as far as being in the club or chilling with your friends, I had to relate to myself too. Sometimes I have to look back and see who's for me and who's not. And that's what that was for. That's basically. An ambitious mind persecuted for making bold decisions, while the timid tries to belittle me. Content full of life, but I doubt the visually mundane can see. I was married to a woman named Faith and told her I always believe. And to compensate for love, all she wanted in return was the mustard seed. She had my back when no one cared, even when it looked like I was chasing my dreams. Then there, as I inhaled angst emotions while conversing with the image in the mirror, as tears began to spark the spiritual growth, stem from minor detours, grinding against status quo. Check the cadence when I walk. It's like I'm floating on treble clefs and half notes. That part right there, that was just me explaining, the ambitious mind, how I'm just driven and I really believe, in my gift, and how people who probably don't know what they want to do, or people who just try to belittle you, or just plain out just say haters or something like that, how they try to belittle your dreams, and it's just keep going. I sat there and said, married to a woman named Faith and told her I always believe, and to compensate for love, all she wanted in return was a mustard seed. That was a reference from the Bible. It says, have the faith the size of a mustard seed. I know you can conquer anything. And I just want to put that little wordplay in there, just to explain, hey, this is what I believe, and I've been married to her since I've known I had this gift. And grinding in status quo, check the cadence when I walk. It's like I'm floating on treble clefs and half notes. That was. I remember my mom, she always used to tell me I walk like I'm cool. And me grinding in the status quo, I was just saying, hey, I'm grinding, I'm not doing the traditional thinking. And while I'm doing it, I'm making it look easy. Deeply rooted, standing on my own too, consciously secluded to negative thoughts that tend to linger from lying tongues. What's done in the shadows will soon be illuminated amongst the masses. Bobby Seale's words marinated in passion, Malcolm X tendencies and King's tactics, relentless efforts, fueled aggression, unlimited blessings, faith encrusted, vision studded, living life on a natural high, trying to stay away from the gutter. In due time, good intentions attempted with fiery darts. Open the Bible, ripped out 66 books and wrapped it around my heart. Deeply rooted, standing on my own too, consciously secluded. To negative thoughts that tend to linger from lying tongues. Was done in the shadows will soon be illuminated amongst the masses. Bobby Seale's words marinated in passion, Malcolm X's tendencies, and King's tactics. That was me just saying, I'm deeply rooted in what I believe in. You can't sway me. I know a lot of people, negative people, they have a lot to say, and I'm not going to speak back on everything. I don't have to react to every negative response or anything like that. The Malcolm X tendencies and King's tactics, that was just me, how I am sometimes. Something I may be struggling with is, as far as Malcolm X tendencies and King's tactics, is just me coming at a situation with peace. But, it's like, hey, still don't step up to me the wrong way. Faith encrusted, vision studied, living life on a natural high, trying to stay away from the gutter. In due time, good intentions attempted with fiery darts. Opened the Bible, ripped out 66 books and wrapped it around my heart. That's just my self-explanatory. It's just fueled aggression, unlimited blessings. Those are the things that are going to come. Faith without works is dead. And I know I'm protected. I know I'm covered. Just for me saying, hey, 66 books wrapped it around my heart. I have a soft heart, for people. I love people still. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. And one day, a son walked by with his father, watered the rose emerging from the crack in the concrete and gave it room to grow. He marveled at it for a second, unbothered, stared at the centerpiece, realized the passion that blooms from within. My inner peace came from being cradled by a radiant light, thorns on my side, battered and bruised, but still known to put up a good fight. Heard a voice from the heavens said, I chose you, a king reflecting his image, leaving me poetically inclined to enlighten the crevices of the darkest minds. They told me I was beyond my years with a renewed state of mind, and I'll forever be alone because I'm the last of my kind. And I believe him. That was just me just thinking, like, what if Jesus was walking by with his father and looked down at me? And, the rose, the thorns on my side, battered and bruised, was still known to put up a good fight. I was just relating that to me going through my fight down here, and when Jesus was going through that fight, when they placed the crown of thorns on his head, and I was kind of relating it to, the crown, the thorns on my side, battered and bruised, and just relating those two stories together, whatever I'm going through, and just seeing what, my problems are not as big as, what he was going through, as far as him dying for our sins, and dying for my sins. And shining his light on me, and the peace that comes from within, like he is my peace, and that's what I was explaining through that. A king reflecting his image, being made in his image and trying to live that lifestyle. They told me I was poetry 365 days a year, so I'm blessed every season. That was just me saying, hey, it was kind of like a bragging point right there. A king reflecting his image, leaving me poetically inclined to enlighten the crevices of the darkest minds. They told me I was beyond my years with a renewed state of mind, and I'll forever be alone because I'm the last of my kind. And I believe them. Like when people say, compliment me, I'll take it out. Not to be cocky or arrogant or anything like that. If someone say, hey, you're good, I'll say, hey, thank you, and take the compliment. It's not like, oh, no. I believe I do have a gift, and I'm confident about it. I'm not cocky at all, but I do believe I have a gift, and that's where that comes from.